Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday's webinars by the Franchise Talk. For those of you that are new to this series, this webinar series takes place on the second Tuesday of every month. And the idea is to share insight and experiences from experts from all around the franchise industry. This month in particular, the theme is around opportunities for tea and coffee franchises. My name is Andy Hulbert. I'm a franchise consultant from Be Smart, and I have the absolute pleasure to have Lee Peacock, who is the founder from Cupp, and Bimal Bhojani, founder from Raining Berries. Both are industry leaders in what they do, and also really nice guys. So I'm really glad to be able to introduce these guys to you in a second. For me, just to give you some background on who I am and where I've come from, my name is Andy Hulbert. I run Be Smart franchise consultancy here in the UK. My day trade as such is a consultant. I help the likes of Cupp when they became franchise ready in the UK and help them with their launch. And also, I also do brokerage as well. So international brokerage, and again, helping Bimal come across from Tampa in Florida over to the UK as well. Some of the things that I've been up to on my next slide, 28 years in the restaurant, nightclubs, food to go sector. I am predominantly F&B. Last 8 years in franchise. I do lots of talking and expert panel stuff all around the world. And most recently out in Denver, which was quite nice. And I've also just been voted a top 20 hospitality industry influencer in the UK. So enough about talking about me. I hate talking about me, especially when we've got some absolute fantastic guys to talk to. They're some of the clients I work with, Market Pierre White's Cupp massage company in the UK. But again, enough about me. I don't want to talk about me anymore. We have got, first up, we've got Lee Peacock. Lee is someone who perhaps stumbled across bubble tea a long time ago when he was a teacher, teaching English in Taiwan, fell in love with the people, the culture, and also the national drink that is bubble tea. And he was second to bring it back to the UK, but bring it back in a way that he'll explain. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Lee Peacock.
We're Cupp, and this is our story. It all began in 2009 whilst I was living in Taiwan. Country that brought bubble tea to the world. I fell in love with the people, the food, and of course, the national drink. I decided to bring back what I love in Taiwan, so I launched Cupp in 2012. We started in a Citroen H van, and we toured music and food festivals all over the country before we made our home in Bristol in a converted shipping container. We opened more stores in Bristol and a mall kiosk in Cardiff before launching our very first franchise store in East London in 2021. We've come a long way since our mobile tea van. We're an established bubble tea brand with over 20 stores around the UK, and we've got a lot more brewing. This is our HQ in Bristol. All our ingredients are imported from Taiwan and they're all stored in this warehouse. This means we have a stronghold on supply chain, costs, and we simplify operations for our partners. Our tagline says it all, bubble tea refined. We spent years perfecting our recipes to be the most authentic and healthiest possible. We use fresh fruit, bespoke purees, organic milk, and brown sugar syrups. This makes us a unique bubble tea brand. I've got huge ambitions for Cupp. We're going to be opening 150 stores in the UK in the next 5 years. We're also going to go international, and we've just signed our first master franchise deal for the US. This has been our journey so far. Why not be part of our next chapter? Really, I'm just going to kind of show you other areas of Cupp that the video doesn't really touch on. So yeah, I'm Lee Peacock. I am the founder and CEO of Cupp. We are a bubble tea brand. I'm sure quite a lot of you might know what bubble tea is. So obviously it originated in Taiwan. But what makes us different is that we use fresh ingredients and quality ingredients and try and make it as authentic as possible. So when I was in Taiwan, I had some amazing drinks. It's all made with brilliant, fantastic ingredients, and that's exactly what I wanted to do when I launched Cupp. Because I discovered quite early on that a lot of the bubble tea brands that I've just that around the world, they use sugary, unhealthy syrups and also flavored powders in their drinks. So from day one, we've always used fresh fruit. We've had bespoke purees made for us, and we use organic milks. And we use quality ingredients as well. I believe that gives us longevity in the industry, and I also believe that we can change the industry as well and actually improve what goes on. Also, we're quite environmentally conscious as well. So bubble tea kind of lends itself to being in plastic cups. Because it's quite aesthetically pleasing, it's quite hard not to use the plastic cups. So we try and think of ways that we can be better, really. So we were the first to bring bamboo fiber straws to the UK. So we use these instead of plastic straws. And when you're selling hundreds, thousands and thousands of drinks a year, it makes a big difference. And we will endeavour to use bamboo straws for international growth as well. We appeal to a wide range of demographics as well, because of the way our drinks are made and the aesthetics of our shops. We appeal to different ages and different demographics. And we also procure all our ingredients from Taiwan and the ingredients in the UK. So they all come into our central distribution centre, which means that we have control over the quality and consistency of our ingredients. So I believe that kind of gives us more of an advantage over other brands. Cool. So social media is everything. So this is where we use most of our marketing, really, because of our customer base is 13 to 30. Obviously, social media is a big part of their lives. We have 12,000 Instagram subscribers for the UK. But they are really engaging. So we regularly see our posts and our stories kind of hit 500 to 1,000 likes and a lot of engagement. So we know that our customer base really do engage with our brand. Obviously, we're on TikTok as well. We had a crazy video that one of our team in one of our stores, all they did was throw a straw into a cup. And that gained about 5 million views or something. It was crazy. But so TikTok's a whole new world that we're going down, and we found that a lot of our customers find us on TikTok as well. And the Cupp infrastructure. So we pride ourselves on developing our employees. So we always want to try and train our employees to go to the next level. But we kind of got our infrastructure in place that we're ready for a big growth in the UK, and we're ready for the growth for international as well. So we have people in place for head of franchise, head of training. So training is a really important part, what we believe in franchising. So we provide really good training for our franchisees. And then we have our kind of international arm as well. So we're getting ready for our next move over to the US. So we've got some really great international trainers employed as well. So they will help us with moving further afield around the world. And in the UK as well, our warehouse supplies 85% of the stock and products and equipment that goes to our stores, for our franchise stores as well. So this kind of means that we are able to kind of source the best products at the best prices. And this is what we would also do in other countries as well, around across the world. So it would be a requirement to have some kind of warehouse infrastructure in place for our international partners. And then I'm just going to show you some of our store formats. So this is our kiosk format. This goes into shopping malls, airports, train stations, any kind of transport hubs. These are brilliant, and they're quite cost effective as well. And we've got 3 in shopping malls around the UK, and we should be opening 1 in an airport later this year. So these are really great models. We also have the shipping container, which you would have seen in the video. Now this is our really unique style on a shipping container. This is brilliant. We love these. We want to do more and more of them. It's really engaging with customers. A lot of customers see the shipping container first, and then they see the product. So it's actually really, it's a really great marketing tool for us. And then our high street models as well. So we do have a design team who also help in the UK and will help internationally. So if you see the image in the middle at the top, that is actually a 3D image of the store design. And actually this actual store in the picture is on the right hand side. So you can see the 3D model really represents what the actual store looks like. So all our franchisees can really see the positive design before it gets built. And then these are our sales for our UK stores. So average sales about £7,000 per week. Our waste is only 3%. Because our processes are in place where everything is measured to the millimeter, our waste is actually really, really low. And then our average transaction value is about £7.62, and our GP is 78%. The GP will probably change depending on different countries. A lot of it is determined by the shipping costs. So obviously, the closer it is to Taiwan, the cheaper it will be for the cost. So the GP will go up as well. And this is our wage bill for the UK. So 19 to 24%. Depends on how big the store is or how busy the store is. We could be achieving 20% quite easily. And then the EBITDA is about 21%. So these are UK figures. Obviously, they'll change a little bit for different countries as well. But this is our pool for the UK. And then our master franchise breakdown. Our franchise fee for master franchise starts from £200,000, depending on what the region or country it is. We always look at what the opportunities are. So obviously, places like the whole of Canada would be a lot more expensive. Obviously, there's a much bigger opportunity there. But the smaller the country, the smaller the fee there is. The average store cost for fit out in the UK is 75 grand. Again, this will change slightly for different countries, but not too much. And then equipment and stock for your first store. Generally, the equipment is around about £30,000. But when you open your first store in a new country, you're always going to have to buy a lot more stock initially, which is why we kind of put up to 65,000. And then pre-launch costs about £20,000. This is kind of covering training and marketing costs. And then the monthly management fee is 3%. And then we do charge a store fee at £6,000. So overall, the initial master franchise cost is £360,000. And obviously you can then sell you can sell the licenses to franchisees in your country as well. And then 2023 and beyond. So we're currently at 30 stores in the UK. We do have stores in the pipeline to open another 20 stores this year. So we should get to 50 stores. So in the UK, we do have plans for growing to about 150 stores within the next 3 to 5 years. And I say we are going to the international already. So we've just signed our first master franchise for LA in the US. So we're really excited about that. And then we're actively seeking master franchises in the GCC area. Okay, thanks very much, guys.
As always, brilliant. I love the video, Lee, by the way. It's superb. So now we're going to move on to Bimal. And again, Bimal, like Lee, I describe as an industry leader because they've taken what is already a concept, but they've gone the extra mile with it. Bimal, when he first started his project, really was infectious. You could see his love for the people, community, and good coffee. Sort of led him to the idea of what he wanted to do with Raining Berries. And Asahi is also very, very prominent in this business. But Bimal took it to the next level. He wanted to include conferencing, state-of-the-art facilities, and like Lee, wants to do things the right way, so sustainable options and products, working with charities as well, to create something different, but something special in the marketplace. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Bimal.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me, Michael and Andy, this morning. And I appreciate your time. And I think we're going to start off with a video, I think, Michael.
So Raining Berries feels upscale. It's bright.
It's accessible to everybody. It's fun. It's lighthearted.
It brings people together.
It's amazing.
It's a place for the family.
And that's what it's all about.
It's hard not to walk in here and not smile. You walk through the door and you just have a whole different vibe.
It's very important to me as the founder that every franchisee not only enjoys the environment they work in, but also they succeed.
The reason why I wanted to look into a Raining Berries franchise is because I've seen hundreds of things come across my desk over the years as a banker, and I've never really wanted to put our own personal funds in anything like that before, and just really saw how it was being built from the ground up.
I've been a cop for 20 years now, so I'm anxious to retire hopefully soon, and I wanted something that I can pursue when I get out of law enforcement.
After he hired me to design and build those stores, I learned about the product and I get really excited about the opportunity for me to invest in the franchise. And I get into a product that I'm sure will be fantastic for my family, for my business, and for myself.
We wanted to change the culture of the coffee industry, that not only would take the industry by storm, but serve real coffee. And we added a twist to that by adding acai bowls, again a superfood, and then also a range of smoothies.
Whether you enjoy coffee or not, there's something on the menu for everyone.
But not only that, you have the business aspect of it as well. They have a great conference room that fits numerous people in there, and you can sit here and enjoy a cup of coffee while you talk about your particular business.
They make it extremely easy for you. They give you a packet and you step by step walk through the packet with them and roll through the steps and you're ready to go at that point.
They told you when they need to go to the process, the procurement process, the design process, the construction process, the timelines of every single one of those. And believe me, these are exactly as it is.
The franchise provides a ton of support to us. They provide training for our staff, training for our managers. They give marketing support to us. They are involved in every aspect of our business. They help us set up with our vendors. They help us set up with the landlords. They're in and out of the stores frequently. They do quality control for us. I mean, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that they're very, very involved in. We couldn't have asked for better partners.
I've been in a position in life where I've had nothing, and for me to see somebody else grow and succeed is more of a passion than anything else.
Everything's been very handed to us, and I can't feel more comfortable opening this up and starting this new venture.
We'd like to grow additional stores down the road, so I think this is what we're going to do from here on out.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Bimal Bhojani. I'm the founder of Raining Berries. And as we go through the slideshow, I'll talk a little bit about the brand and also the concept itself. One of the things that we wanted to encourage in the industry was, you go into coffee stores across the UK, Europe, and also the US, and you very rarely see a real coffee store, somebody serving real coffee. It's typically production coffee. So that's something that that was part of our remit when we launched the brand, that we actually serve real coffee. And what I mean by real coffee is, we're procuring coffee, we're serving it through a a Simonelli machine. They're serving almost 17 grams of coffee, goes in a portafilter, and you're getting a real cup of coffee. The atmosphere in the stores, we wanted to create something very trendy, bright, inviting. We have a social media aspect with the flower wall, and we own the name Kiss My Acai. It's kind of a one-stop place where you can eat, work, enjoy, go on a date, or even do have a business meeting as well. These are some great images and photographs of the atmosphere in the stores. You can see everybody that comes in, whether it's a can of cold brew or nitro brew, an acai bowl. It's a fun place to be, a happy place to hang around. So good atmosphere and an enjoyable place to experience. And you're gonna have the expectation from the moment you go in, and the experience is always good. We're ready to move on, Michael. Thanks. A little bit about our food and products. Our coffee is ethically and sustainably sourced. We support women's cooperatives in East Africa. Our acai bowls are different to the ones in the marketplace from what we've seen. We have pure organic fruit in our acai bowls. There are no fillers. We added smoothies to the menu, and one of the reasons we added smoothies to the menu, we have a lot of fruit that we use in the process for the acai bowls, and now we have zero wastage. So from a food aspect, there is zero wastage, and that adds to your bottom line over a period of time. And then we've got a lot of light finger foods, waffles, some sandwiches, pastries, and then obviously we've got teas, kombuchas, frappes, etc. A lot of coffee shops, when it comes to having meetings, there is no function or private room. So we've created a state-of-art conference room depending on the size of square footage, location, and this gives the ability for people to have meetings, whether they're business or, they're teachers. They can actually meet, and the stores have media players to cast their the work they're doing or the presentation that they're actually showing. And this also gives them an opportunity to spend money in the store on coffee, acai, spirulina, pitaya bowls, etc. So it's a great place, and it's an added twist, but it's brought a lot of consumers into the store and changed the dynamics of the facility. We've got about, I would say, 19 locations in Florida sold at the moment, just under 10 open, and there are several physical under construction. We're actually going to be going to different states in the US. There are active conversations, and with Andy's help and assistance, Andy's working closely with several folks in the UK for our first launch. And today's a great opportunity, to showcase Raining Berries for the UAE and that part of the world. We'd like to launch in these additional countries across Europe. We have conversations in Asia, and actually we're working with some athletes to launch the brand across university campuses across the United States as well. I think, if you've never been in the QSR space, the difference between Raining Berries and our competitors out there, because when people are looking for franchises, they want to see what else is out there in the marketplace. And I think we're a lifestyle brand, a healthy brand, and I think the way the industry is positioned and focused, I think the consumer actually wants something in terms of health, wellness, lifestyle. And we attract a lot of females, young professionals, and it's definitely a healthier alternative to your typical pizza burger business model. And as I say, we have almost zero food waste. We also have our own franchisee portal for the franchisees to go and see their videos, training. And, we provide extensive support in terms of growth for the 10 years of the franchise agreement. We're open to discussions for licensing and master agreements. in countries. And, these are active conversations that will be had between Andy and my team in the US here with Stephen. And, we'd love to have some partners in the Middle East. We would very, very much appreciate that opportunity. Our success stories, we've got a bunch of folks that have signed up as multi-unit operators. And, the thing that's drawn them to Raining Berries is typically when you look at the restaurant industry, you're looking at, long hours, commercial kitchens. Everything we have is plug and play. It's a great fun atmosphere. The culture within the stores, a great staff retention is good. And the margins are very strong. And, the support we provide as a brand is very much hands-on in terms of marketing, procurement, and final execution and delivery as well. So, we've kind of put everything together to meet the needs of the franchisee. And if the franchisee is successful, so are we at Raining Berries.
Bimal, thank you ever so much for that. I think everyone will probably agree that both of you have given really comprehensive views of your businesses. We're now at part of the webinar where I will invite questions from anybody watching. Anyone has something silly, no matter what the question is, ask away, and I'll get the guys, it'll come to me and I'll get the guys and I'll ask the guys some questions. I know we have some in already. And so while you guys are thinking of more questions to ask, I'm going to go through some of the questions that we've already been sent in. And actually what I'll do is the questions I'll ask guys will be, I'll ask to both of you. We'll start with Lee and then Bimal, if you can then go afterwards. But first question is, how do you support franchisees in marketing their businesses locally? So start with you, Lee.
Cool. So we do targeted ads on our social media channels. We also target universities, and we do like local and also local businesses as well to the store. Our biggest marketing ploy, though, should we say, is our opening launches. So each store we have we give away 100 free bubble teas, and then we do half price bubble tea on the rest of the day. So generally that is our biggest success story for us, because every single store that we've opened will have a queue go around.
I was going to say, if anyone goes to my LinkedIn page, look for my name, and I've reposted the 300, 400 yard queues down the road. So do have a chance to, if you get a chance, log on and have a look.
That is our biggest and best way of getting customers engaged, and also everyone talks about the store. And then we've also found ways to try and engage, trying to lock those customers in on the actual day, so that we get them to sign up on our app. So our app is our big marketing tool as well. So all those customers, they come, they get a free drink, but they have to sign up to the app, and then we have their details, and then we can engage with them in the future as well. So that's how we do it locally per store.
Perfect. Bimal, same question.
Well, we have a marketing plan for our franchisees. It's a 16-week marketing plan, and our team will sit down with the prospective franchisee, go through all the steps of our expectations. As we get closer, as part of our pro forma budget, there is a marketing budget in there, and we will engage a local social media marketing company to drive traffic to the store. And then obviously we back that up by our Instagram ads as well, and our social media traffic. And then very similar to Cupp, we have, the franchisees will have some kind of coupon for the local community to come in and buy espressos or bowls. They'll buy one and get one free. So it's a combination and various of things. Community involvement is key, but there is a plan in place, for the franchisee to execute, to drive traffic, and we're there every step of the way.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually, this is an interesting question, because having been to Tampa with you, Bimal, and over with you in Bristol and London, Lee, this is quite a key question, because you two have very differing answers. Well, slightly differing answers. So the question is, where are your customers primarily from, their key demographics, and do you see a difference in demographics from each location?
Lee, do you want to go first? I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
go
go
on.
either or.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it's a very interesting question, and I get asked this all the time. I'll get a franchisee say, "Well, I don't see the ads," and we've spent a lot of money on marketing between the two of us. And my response is, it's the algorithms that Instagram have. So, for example, what an 18 or 20-year-old young lady may be following in terms of social media is not the same thing that I may be following or somebody else is following. So there is a specific audience out there. And yes, there is, depends on household income, demographics, location. There are so many factors, but I think the algorithms on social media are the key driving force to take that traffic to that specific location. So not everybody's going to see it. And I'll give you a very simple example. We had several thousand followers until probably about 6 or 7 months ago. Now we're close to just a little above 30,000 followers. With the growth of the stores, it's organic. So the brand grows in an organic way. But, those are the differences. It's the Meta and et cetera, and Google and Instagram are the driving force, I believe.
Perfect. And Lee, same question.
Yeah, so with Cupp, I mean, look, the positive thing about bubble tea is that it's quite targeted. It's this you use the words boba tea or bubble tea. So anyone that kind of likes those two things, it's quite easy to target those customers. The way we see our demographic changing is depend on how the location. So if we have a store that's in a shopping mall, then actually our demographic is a lot younger. So we target that demographic. If our store is in a bit more of a residential area, or depend on what the demographic is there, because when we franchise, we discovered a whole new demographic with our South Asian demographic as well. So that was a whole new demographic we had. So then some of our stores opened into quite prominent South Asian communities. So actually then our targeted marketing then would change as well for that. So I think that the key demographic for us though is always going to be your 13 to 30-year-old, predominantly female students, Southeast Asian, and also South Asian customers as well. So for us, it makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to target people.
I'd like to add one thing to that, if I may, Andy, that, I would say from a Raining Berry standpoint, that we are a destination. And,
Yes.
the folks do want to come to us. And you've seen that with your own eyes. You've been to a couple of stores, and not only are they busy, but we are diverse. And I would say that, yes, whilst, that a lot of our clients are female, I think we're seeing an uptick in males coming into the store.
Yeah.
And it is that healthy lifestyle which is driving that. So.
Yeah, and I think that's prominent for both your brands. You both play on a sustainable, almost organic, good for you and there is a certain, I've seen in the shift in hospitality, a shift towards better products and better produce being served. And there's a shift in consumer demand for that now, which you two guys are going to play on very well. The viewers for today's talk aren't pulling any punches with this next question, and you're going to both breathe in through your teeth and go. But the next question is, how much is the average fee for a city like Dubai? There's $1 million question. Lee, I'll let you take that one first.
Wow, I mean that's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the $1 million question.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for us, I think we look at different options as well. So we look at, would someone just want to have Dubai, or would someone want to have a bigger piece of the area? So that's how we would kind of tackle it, really. But for Dubai, well, it's hard to say. Minimum like 300,000, I'd say, starting from. But again, it changes from how big of the pie you want, really, for the area, and what infrastructure you have in place as well. So obviously, if you're
set to grow, I guess, if they've got an infrastructure where they can deliver X amount of stores, then I guess coming to an agreement's going to be
There's
easy.
a lot more variables to it than just plucking out a figure, but it'll be around that area. But also it depends on what else that person wants to do in that area as well. So great question though.
Yeah, I was going to say no pulling the punches there.
Well,
that question
well,
as well.
I think that question is an anomaly. It's a very difficult question to answer and throw a number out there. But as I say, if they're an experienced operator, they've done this and they've got an infrastructure in place, and they're looking at some kind of licensing or master franchise agreement for that area, and they have a number in mind in terms of how many stores they want to open, then I think that would be a conversation. It would be foolish of me to throw a number out there because it's the unknown, and I don't know where that number would lead. I can't. I wish I could. I would much rather prefer to have that conversation with Andy and Steve. I think
you'd rather me throw knives at him right now.
I think you can have the conversation first, Andy. So.
Another question we've been asked, and I'll answer this question on both your behalf. Do you offer exclusive territory rights? The answer is yes. We will offer exclusive territory rights of both the brands.
Absolutely.
So another one directed at Bimal. So which new markets and regions would you like to develop Rain and Berries in?
I think it's interesting, and I'm going to give you a really great answer to this, I believe, at least. Next week, we're going to be in the Bahamas, me and Stephen with Raining Berries, and we're going to meet 65 professional athletes out of the US. And a lot of them have already started asking us questions about Dubai and taking the brand to that part of the world. So it's a very interesting part of the world for us, not just in terms of demographics, but the fit and look of the Raining Berries brand is a home run for Dubai. Obviously, the UK, I'd like to be in Europe as well, other parts, but we want to have the right strategic partner for Raining Berries. And that's more important to us than just signing a franchise agreement with somebody and giving them the rights. If they're the right partner, but I just think from the brand perspective and the aesthetics, as I'm sure your audience have seen in the video, it's the right market for us.
Perfect.
With the right partner, naturally.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And this one's directed, directed for Lee. And it's, how is Cupp different from its competitors?
Okay, so our main differences are the quality of the drink. So that all comes from the ingredients that we use. So I say in our presentation in the video, it shows that we only ever use fresh fruit or bespoke purees. Now, competitors will use syrups, or they will use flavored powder with tons of sugar in it to flavor their drinks instead of using actual natural ingredients. We use organic milks, and also we use quality loose leaf teas. Any new drinks, any new flavors and drinks that we bring to the menu, they are always looked at in terms of, is it healthy, is it tasty, and is it different to our competitors? And that's how we always go about our business. In terms of the aesthetics and how we look, we're not a kitschy Japanese looking brand, like where it's all like pink and blue and yellows and all these crazy colors. That's fine. That works for some people, but that, I believe, that only targets a certain demographic and a certain customer.
Yeah.
We're very stripped back, very modern, very just more sleek, should we say. And then that kind of, for us, that means the customer can actually grow with the brand. So someone who is 13 years old can grow with our brand, and actually when they're 25, the brand is still looking cool and it's still modern. So whereas actually on the other side, if the brand was really, really young looking, then actually I think that customer would actually move on when they're older.
Yeah.
That's, for me, that's how I think we're different. A lot of care, a lot of love has gone into Cupp. It's my baby. Every decision that we make is huge. We don't just do quick decisions. And likewise, we choose franchisees carefully as well. We want people to join. We say join the Cupp family, because actually for us, it is a family business. My wife does a lot of social media.
Oh, and you have to tell everybody, George, your baby boy, his middle name. What's his middle name?
So my baby boy, my little boy, who's 3, his middle name is George Boba. So he's got Boba as a middle name. So obviously Boba is for bubble tea. That's how much bubble tea is ingrained in our family. So it's very much a family business for us, and I think that is always going to be a thing for me. As we grow and we grow internationally, I still want to maintain that brand,
family feel.
So yeah, that's me.
Great. Okay. Well, this is to both of you. Thank you for that. This is to both of you. We have got, I think we're okay for time at the moment. I'll start with Bimal though, but same question for both of you guys. How long does it take generally to open one branch?
If you have the location in place, you could probably do it in 6 to 9 months. If you've got to find a location, in the US at least, it's 12 to 15 months. So location is key. And obviously, if you have financing in place, that makes a difference. If you're going to go through a bank loan, 60 to 90 days for bank, 12 to 16 to build out, and site selection. That's again, if you have that, it can be done in 6 to 9 months.
And I'd probably add as a caveat to the sites you have in America that are large stores, and I would say perhaps in Europe, potentially in the Middle East, some of the store sizes would be smaller. So I would say that
yes,
physical construction time would probably be more like 6 weeks in Europe.
I believe so, 6 to 8 weeks in Europe, and we have got an express model that's not only brought our pricing down. We've got a 12 to 1400 square foot express model that we're about to launch in the US. So yes, absolutely. If you had a conference room, you can probably have another couple of weeks in there in terms of construction, Andy.
Perfect. Lee, so same for you. How long does it take to open one branch typically?
Typically, well, again, it's a similar thing. If you have the property already, then it can take a matter of 3 months. Because we go for smaller properties rather than big ones. We keep the rent down. We do that because obviously bubble tea is grab and go. It's express, in and out, go. So we don't need to have big stores. One of our franchisees who's opening in London, they came to us in April and they're going to be opening mid-July. So they've opened in 3 months. That's not always the case, but I think 3 months is our quickest. But generally it's around about, I would say 6 months is probably the target that we
total process.
And we've opened 5 stores in 1 month before. So we had the capability to be able to open a lot quickly and the quantity as well.
So actually, just because there's another question that follows on for this one actually. So how many branches do you aim to open next year around the world?
Next year around the world. So by the end of this year, UK should be at 50. So I plan to do another 30 in the UK next year. So that gets to 80. Around the world, obviously we've got LA is happening first. So I would say another 20 stores internationally next year is my target.
So one a week?
1 a week? Yeah.
No pressure.
No. It can happen.
It can, yeah.
Our infrastructure is in place that we can do this. It just comes down to how quick the franchisee wants to move as well. And sometimes, we have things in place that actually, if there's delays to a shop, then we can move another shop forward, and that can go into that production slot as well. But yeah, we've got big ambitions, but obviously internationally it becomes different because that's on the actual master franchisee. So they're the ones that will be working towards hitting the targets. But again, in the US, we're finding shop fitters as well for the franchisee. We're helping in that department as well. And obviously, our central design team, they can do all the store designs from the UK, so we can actually speed the process up a lot quicker.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I know that the concept and size is different a bit more, but what would same be for you? What's your, over the next 12 months, how many stores would you think you would like?
I would say another 10 to 12 would be a reasonable, we're a lot younger than Cupp in terms of time frame. So I would say another 10 to 12 locations. But if we do some of our deals that we plan to do with some athletes, then I think we're going to grow at a super fast pace. but again, at a measured pace, and we want to be in the right locations as well. And that's more important. Having those strategic partners is going to be based on the growth.
Yeah, perfect.
I was going to say, Bimal, like we were similar as well. Like in our first year of franchising, I think we opened like 5 or 6. But it's kind of with our growth, we were able to put things in place, and actually,
yes,
you find you could move a lot quicker when as it starts.
Well, you've got a footprint at that point. People can see the brand, and you've got the exposure, which is also going to generate growth as well.
Absolutely. So. And both of you guys I've seen have invested into your infrastructure, which just speeds up the process. There are other companies that will take this growth money and spend it on themselves, whereas you guys have put it straight back into your franchise system, which is great to see, because it just means that the longevity of your businesses is going to be there for a long, long time. So another one here. So both of you, but we'll start with Bimal first. And this is a good question actually, in today's climate, are the products of Raining Berries and Cupp suitable for home delivery in hot climates?
Yes, they are. Yeah, because I think when somebody's going to pick up an acai or spirulina or matcha bowl, typically the delivery service is going to bring some kind of little cooler, and they're perfectly fine to go. Same with the smoothies as well. Yep. You know, we do get, and you're going to laugh at this, we do get clients that order espressos and coffees and they want them delivered, and so be it. That's an individual, like by like basis. But yes, the products can be transported, and we have no issues whatsoever.
And likewise, well, bubble tea was founded in Taiwan, a very tropical country, and it was specifically designed for delivery and to be. So basically, when the drinks are sealed on top, so you can turn them upside down and nothing.
They arrive in perfect condition, don't they?
And it's perfect, and it's designed for, you get your bubble tea, you go on your scooter, and you drive around. Bubble tea was designed for hot countries, so yeah, there's no problem there at all. So perfect.
And Bimal, can you tell us about the source of Raining Berries ingredients, and are they organic?
Well, they are, yes. The acai is organic, the pitaya is organic, and the spirulina is organic. The coffee is ethically sourced, and I would say the coffee is organic as well. Yes, all the products are very much so. Even our granola, we give the customers options in terms of organic, gluten-free, and traditional granola as well. The fruit varies because it's a seasonality factor issue, but if the consumer has access to constant organic produce and fresh fruit, then yes, it can be organic as well. So it's going to depend on the market.
Perfect. And Lee, I'm laughing because I'm aware of Lee's insane attention to detail. Lee, how do you maintain quality control while growing so fast?
Yes, my attention to detail is keeps me awake at night, basically. Sorry, the question was how do we keep control?
How do you maintain quality control while growing so fast?
Yeah, so in terms of the quality of the products, from a raw point of view, we can maintain that because obviously we've used our suppliers. I go to Taiwan regularly to kind of meet with the suppliers and the products, and when ingredients are manufactured. In terms of in store, we've got 5 trainers who are employed by Cupp, and they regularly go around to the stores all over the country. So they're not only do they do the initial training for the launches, but they also do audits. They do further training, so they make sure that actually each store is hitting our targets as well. And if they're not hitting our targets, then we put extra training in and we give them solutions of how they can do that. Obviously, the onus is on the franchisee to make sure that their standards are up to scratch. But in terms of quality control, I'd say like our processes are in place that if you follow the ingredients and the recipes, it's very simply laid out. It's like 1 scoop of this, 10 millimeters of that, 100 millimeters of tea. Always, everything's specific. If the members of staff stick to that recipe, they will not make a bad bubble tea. It's just that's all it comes down to.
And I know you have processes in place where you use iAuditor on the iPhone and iPads to be able to audit properly and pass on that feedback. So again, it's just about systems in place for you guys. I think I've only got one question left. So the guys viewing this, you've got literally 8 minutes now to get some questions in. So anything you can think of, get it in now. Someone has asked, and this is a difficult one because sometimes this comes down to commerciality, but they've put, I've worked in the food and beverage industry for 15 years. Would I be a suitable candidate for you, or do you only work with master franchises? Bimal?
It depends on the location and the territory they're looking for. So, we'll never say no to somebody to buy a franchise. But it could be, if they're in a specific location, it's a conversation that we would have. But we do prefer, if we're doing a deal, many miles away, to have a licensing agreement. But again, I don't know, we would have to discuss the location. But yes, if they have 15 years experience, it's a good point.
Okay.
I fully agree as well. Anything that's kind of the whole country or a region outside the UK, yeah, we do look for master franchises. However, we're always getting inquiries from people with experience in F&B, or they're only looking for one store. What we do, we still do the process, and then we'll then pass that on to the master franchisee in that region and say, this is a good candidate. Would you like to have them within your system? That's how we would do it. So
I concur with Lee. Yes, agreed.
Perfect. I think we have hit all the questions and no new ones coming through so far. So guys, thank you ever so much for your time today. And I appreciate Bimal, you're in Tampa in Florida and Lee's in the UK. So trying to get everyone's time zones as well, and especially with the guys joining us from the Middle East as well. So thank you ever so much. It's been great and really insightful to hear a bit more from the horse's mouth about you guys. For anybody who is interested in either one of these brands, please feel free to talk to me if you have any questions. My website is BeSmart, and my email address is andy@besmart.org.uk. Feel free to drop me a line. Again, link. I always like to connect with people around the world, so do join me on LinkedIn, Andy Hulbert, and do find me and say hi. And if you did like today's webinar, please let us know. We'd love to get the feedback. Again, if you want to rewatch this, you can go onto the website, thefranchisetalk.com, and you can watch this and share this with friends if you found it enjoyable or insightful. Next webinar is going to be taking place on July the 11th, which is going to be covering franchises under $100,000 US. So that's going to be a very interesting one as well. So thank you everyone for your time today. Have a great day in the UK, America, and in the Middle East. Enjoy the sunshine, because I think we've all got some today. And we'll see you really soon. Take care.
Wonderful. Thank you for having us. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.